to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for January 15th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
What do you got?
Well, I'm going to start off here with a Marvel title. This is the first time I think we've seen any real crossover with Disney using a little bit of their clout here.
Yeah.
We've got a book called Disney Kingdom Seekers of the Weird. Is this? I think this was an old ride that had been designed, or I think it was something that they were trying to do back in the day for Disney that was never finished, that never happened. So they decided then to write a story about it. I think the artwork looks fantastic. It's by Carl Moline. Really good looking stuff, kind of fun, and it captures that scary but fun, not too scary, adventurous, creepy without being too creepy feel. And it looks interesting to me. I'm excited to kind of read it. I have no problem with the fact that it's a Disney ride. Yeah. I don't care. If it's a good story, it's a good story.
Pirates of the Caribbean, and that turned out pretty good, at least the first time.
Yes. Next, I've got Daredevil number 35. This is continuing that story where the Sons of the Serpent were messing with Matt, and Foggy was in big trouble, and his cancer was getting the best of him, and Daredevil is running around with Elektra at this point here. This has been some really good stuff, and we are getting towards what's going to be the end of this run when we get rebooted. This has been a great Daredevil book. I love it. I love the artwork. The cover is by Chris Samney. He is credited as one of the storytellers. Looks like he did the art too. It does look like his art, and he is not. He's only credited as a storyteller. So he gets a big part of that with that art, and that is also a part of the storytelling.
I wonder if they did that Marvel style. That's usually when they split it like that.
True. Next, I've got Imagine Agents. This is number 4 of 4. This is the last part of that book by Boom Studios. This was written by Brian Jones, created and written by Brian Jones, and illustrated by Bacam. I'm sure I butchered that. It had sort of a kind of an X-Files, Men in Black, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends kind of feel to it. Great artwork, really fun. I like this book a lot. I don't feel like it's getting quite as much attention as it should, but a really, really cool book. So maybe, from that last page, looks like they're just trying to see if they can get picked up and go a little bit further with it. It's a fun book. It's perfect for that Boom imprint, but again, I think more people should be reading it. I don't know why you're not. Now I'm going to jump into my Image books here. I've got Ghosted number 6. This is the second story arc. That first story arc was all about, our main character trying to pull a heist and trying to steal a ghost for an old man. And it ended up being kind of interesting. You realized his sister, I believe it was his sister, or a family member was involved, but the guy that wanted the ghost, all he wanted was the ghost so he could continue to be immortal. If the spirit was released from the house, it wasn't going to work that way for him. So it was a little bit of a twist on what it was that they were doing. And next, our guy is still kind of on the run. And we're going to get into more occultish kind of things. That looks kind of creepy, voodoo doll nonsense going on. And they're targeting that main character again, whose name I'm drawing a blank on. But it's been a good book so far. I'm hoping it can continue to do that. I've liked the storytelling. I felt like the ending was rushed on the last arc. But maybe they didn't even know what they were, if they were going to be able to keep going, and they rushed through it. And now hopefully they'll slow down and take their time. And not Bendis style time taken, but, tell me a story. You don't have to rush the thing. Next, I've got Peter Panzerfaust number 16. This is a great book. I really enjoy Panzerfaust a lot. Admittedly, I am probably about 3 issues behind on this arc. This is something that I'm probably going to have to wait until it's finished, and then I'll just go back and read the whole arc. This is a great book. I really like what Curtis Weeb does. He's a fantastic writer, and I like the idea of taking Peter Pan in World War II. It ends up being bigger and better than just that. Here you've got a simple premise. Okay, you're taking that public domain stuff, and now you're twisting it, but it's better than that.
Right.
Then I've got more Curtis Weeb. I've got Rat Queens. This is issue 4. This is a weird tale of these little elf-type chicks that are on some kind of a mission. Looks like they're fighting some kind of goblins there. They're on a bunch of different groups started a fight, and then they were all given missions to go take care of this. And some of them were as simple as cleaning toilets, and of course the Rat Queens had to go on a much bigger mission than that. You got one tiny little girl who was constantly speaking with a foul mouth, which is funny. I know I mention that every week, but yeah, it's a good book. It's a fun book. I like it. I'll be honest. I'm reading it because I like Curtis Weeb. I really, really wish that Peter Panzerfaust had come out before Greenwake, because we'd still have Greenwake. Greenwake was such a great book. It never really caught on, and then he had to find something else to do, and then that one did catch on. Yeah. And I am sitting here without Greenwake. But oh well. Next, I've got Velvet. This is issue number 3. Admittedly, I've not read the 2 yet. I just got caught up on the number 1 recently. This is a great book. This woman kind of seems at first as though she's a secretary and, she's kind of sleeping with all the top spies. But then you realize, she's the top spy. She knows what's going on, and she's been framed for something. At least that's what it looked like in the first issue. It's a really cool spy book. I dug it. The artwork here by Steve Epting is fantastic. Ed Brubaker does very well with spies.
Yeah.
That's kind of right in his wheelhouse, and he's doing a great job with it. At least that first issue. I've yet to read the second one. Next, I've got Archer and Armstrong. This is the Sect Civil War. It continues. This has got to be getting, close to a conclusion there. Yet another book I'm behind on, but a book I was enjoying. So I just got to get in, and I'm in a story arc behind. I'm almost. I don't want to be a guy who trade waits, but I'm almost like issue waiting until they're trade length, and then I jump in. It's just a little bit easier for my time right now to read a full story arc than it is to read a bunch of single issues and then not remember what the hell I read anyway. So now we've got an all-new arc, so I am behind on Harbinger as well, but I guess I could always go back. Now this looks like the very beginning of where we started with Unity, this beginning here, and they're saying soon, or is this something no, this might have been something I had read at the end of one of the issues. I get confused sometimes. Valiant puts those 4-issue previews of the next issue, and I'm often wanting so much more, I just read the next part, because I'm like, well, I just want to know what's going to happen next, and then when it repeats itself, I'm like, didn't I just read that? Well, yeah, because I couldn't wait. I don't really know what's going on with Harbinger. They've got it appears that Harada's sort of been revealed as to what he can do, and they're now going to start pushing him in the bad guy direction. He was always doing stuff that was questionable, but no one knew it, and he was sort of heralded as a hero kind of deal. And I think that's probably playing up in Unity. A bunch of people are attacking, Exo. They're trying to, because he did. He just sort of declared himself the leader of a continent and took over. But it was where he used to rule, and he took all of the descendants of his people. I don't know, kind of seems right to him. I mean, it doesn't seem wrong.
Yeah.
He was abducted by aliens who were trying to take over our world, and here he was stuck in the middle of it. Ninjak's in here. I kind of like that they've incorporated Ninjak with Exo Manowar.
A woman with the Exo costume on there?
Quite possibly. Yeah, it looks as so. Remember, that did happen in the old series, but not so much later. I believe it was someone that was working with him ended up with it. And I think they had separated him from it at some point in time. But I don't know. I'm behind. I don't know what's going on. Next, I've got, this would be a top pick if not for my top pick having come out this week. I've got Black Dynamite issue number 1. Black Dynamite has moved from Ape Entertainment to IDW. This looks like it's going to be, I think, a 6-issue story arc as opposed to just the one prestige format book that they decided to tell everybody was a graphic novel after they sold out of it, and then we're just filling your orders with second prints. Not that that was fine. Ape took very, very good care of me, and I feel bad that they lost the license on that because I think Ape ultimately put out a very good product. Their Black Dynamite book was fantastic. Everything about it looked great. The art was great. This is just going to be a little bit longer, and they're deciding to go the issue route as opposed to that one big thick version. Right. I think Ape Entertainment kind of blazed the way for them. They saw how quickly those books went up in value and realized, oh, well, that license might be valuable. I don't know why Ape squandered it. It's too bad. I have no idea what this current story is about.
Looks like they're doing the similar sort of making it look like an old comic.
Yeah.
The pages are kind of yellow. The coloring is more
sure.
School. Even the front cover design, at least on this one, there's 2 covers.
Right.
Mimics an old 70s Marvel comic.
But I'm not seeing, the other one had ads.
Yeah.
The ads about the Atlas training and all that stuff.
This is a little less authentic. But
still looks great, and I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, I'm going to start off with Triple Helix. This is also from IDW. This is John Byrne's continuing sort of expansion of his own superhero universe. This ties into the Trio book that he did. Actually, one of the characters from Trio, the story that was in the Trio miniseries, his story actually has continued into this. It's easy to kind of say this is John Byrne's take, or his version of the X-Men, the way Trio was his Fantastic Four. It's an oversimplification, but it is kind of like building this superhero universe. It also ties into the Danger Unlimited series he did some 20 years ago. I'm actually I'm caught up on this, but I don't really remember where the story left off because it seems like it's been a while since this came out. But basically, it's John Byrne doing kind of traditional old school superheroes, and that's pretty much all I need to know. Next up, Green Lantern Corps. This is trying to remember I am actually caught up on all the books I have this week. I just don't remember what's been going on because I did such a mad rush to catch up with things at the end of the last year. Everything just kind of blends together. But from what I recall here, the Lanterns were sort of in this book. They're kind of getting their stuff together. Mogo is now the new home as O was blown up, and they were getting Mogo kind of together. There's a storyline going on with the Durlans and some shape-shifting, and I believe the Kuns are involved in this. So as with the other Green Lantern books and Red Lantern book and Orange Lantern book and upcoming Yellow Lantern book, they're kind of just going back to more of a traditional sci-fi storyline. So we've got the Green Lantern smack dab in the middle of DC's cosmic stuff. I've got Kanjar-Ro in here. We've got, like I said, the Kuns. We've got the Durlans. So pretty much all of the denizens of DC's cosmic universe are popping up in here. Maybe they're going to try to attempt to do with the Green Lantern Corps what Marvel pretty successfully did with its Annihilation and Guardians of the Galaxy, and really go back and reintroduce all those old concepts that had been sitting around for a long time. Next up, we've got Justice League of America number 11. This is a Forever Evil tie-in, and it looks like we've got the Martian Manhunter kind of continuing his battle in sort of the psychic plane. All of the Justice League were sucked into Firestorm, and I believe that's where all of this is kind of going on. Martian Manhunter is trying to get them free. But yeah, this is just another Forever Evil tie-in. Forever Evil has been good, but it's been kind of been going on for a while. I think maybe 8 issues might have been a little much for that.
Really? You're complaining that it's too long when they told you their title is called Forever Evil? You're lucky if it ends at all.
Good point. I stand corrected.
Forever Evil.
And it has been forever. Still solid stuff overall, but yeah, it's a long series.
Taking forever. What do you expect?
Next up, we've got Fantastic Four number 16. This is the finale of Matt Fraction's run on the book. It looks like, yeah, Mark Bagley seems to be off the book, which is a little bit disappointing.
That's too bad.
I did finally catch up on this, and I understood. I remember the last time I was wondering, how is it that both FF and Fantastic Four have storylines with Doctor Doom and Kang and Annihilus all kind of moving towards some sort of a big thing, yet they weren't the same storyline? Well, it turns out they actually are two separate things. In this book, they're dealing with an alternate timeline, Doom, Kang, and Annihilus, whereas FF is dealing with the 616, Doom, Kang, and Annihilus. So in two different timelines, those three characters are both hatching a plot. They are kind of tied together. The Dooms, the sort of council of Dooms all seem to be kind of aware that this is going on in multiple places. It looks like we've actually got a little bit of the tie-in of FF in here as well. So yeah, it does actually make more sense once I actually caught up. They're not. It's not that Matt Fraction was not telling Matt Fraction what Matt Fraction was writing in the other book. They were two different timelines, and he didn't tell us until near the end, and then it all kind of made sense. But yeah, Matt Fraction is finishing up his run. Yeah, this looks like it's the end of the FF book as well, perhaps.
Huh?
Because it's got
like that back half looks like.
Yeah, so maybe they're kind of wrapping it all up. The two storylines kind of collide somewhere. This has been a great run. I really enjoyed this after Hickman kind of taking it more cosmic, more kind of old school comic bookish. This cover is actually an homage to a John Byrne cover for the I think it was the 20th anniversary of the FF.
Okay.
Way back in 1981. So yeah, he's basically putting the finishing touches on his run. Unfortunately, it's a run that got cut a little short because he's off on other projects. We've got James Robinson coming in to restart the book. I don't believe they're restarting FF though. I think FF is just kind of ending. But yeah, if you've been following all along, you're going to buy this. If you haven't, this is a horrible place to start. But go back and pick them up.
Now, is that an extra price book or?
$3.99.
$3.99. Okay.
So it's only $1 more. I think FF's normally a $2.99 book, but it looks like it's got the wrap up. It looks like we've got the Watcher, who we know is going to be off soon.
Yep.
And apparently the Watcher's baby mama. So that's kind of bogus. They're going to kill him off just right before they give him a baby. But anyway, Fantastic Four, always a great book.
But again, it's not like he didn't know it was going to happen.
This is true. He just sit there going, "Come on, hurry up, let me die already." Next up, we've got the Superior Spider-Man number 25. This is an extra-sized issue. In the last issue, again, finally caught up. This was the Superior Spider-Man takes on Venom, and Venom takes over the Superior Spider-Man. So now Venom is basically controlling, or Doc Ock is now connected to the Venom symbiote in Peter's body. So yeah, we have the Superior Venom. All the meanwhile, we've got this big story that's going on in the background with the Green Goblin and all of the goblins, which I believe is leading. Is it called Goblin Nation, something like that? Where we're finally going to get the resolution because they have recently just announced the relaunch of Amazing Spider-Man number 1.
Can you
with
imagine
Peter
that?
in the lead, as has been expected pretty much all along. But hey, we got 26 to 28 issue story of Doc Ock running around in Peter's body. Is there going to be a surprise coming still? We don't know. There's rumors that somehow Superior Spider-Man will continue after this. Actually, that would be kind of a neat idea if they did bring like Miles Morales in and make him like the Superior Spider-Man, and then we'd have the 2099 Spider-Man. We'd have 3 Spider-Mans running around.
I'm totally okay with like a Spider-Man team up looking that way.
A book called Spider-Man, like they did with that crossover.
Yep.
That would actually be kind of fun. I don't know if they're going to do that, but yeah, we're basically marching towards getting things back to normal. And in the meantime, we've got some nice Humberto Ramos art. I'm not a big fan of Ramos, but I think he does a good job with that kind of weird Venom symbiote because it's all kind of weird and liquidy and whatnot. So yeah, all the people who are mad about this, just hold tight. It's coming to an end soon, and you'll get your Peter. Next up, Amazing X-Men. This is Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness. Again, this is continuing the bringing Nightcrawler back.
It's been a cool book.
This has been a lot of fun. It's swashbuckling. I've heard some people kind of complain about this idea of a demon dressed as a pirate essentially invading heaven in a pirate ship. I think that's a fun idea. Yeah, it's goofy and strange, but hey, it's fun.
How dare they put goofy, fun, strange things in a comic book? Yeah. How dare they? And there's no place for that in comic books. No. It's like crying in baseball.
Yep.
You don't do it.
No fun. But yeah, pirates. We've got pirates. We've got some great Ed McGuinness art.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I love it.
I mean, I don't know a lot about this Azazel character. I know he was in X-Men First Class. I know he was Nightcrawler's father. And you know, if you've got that information, that's really all you need for this storyline. But really, really great stuff. Jason Aaron did such a phenomenal job and continues to do a phenomenal job on Wolverine and the X-Men, which he's leaving to take this book over, or to when they launch this book. But yeah, it looks like we've got Nightcrawler back the way it should be. He's got swords. He's got swashbuckling. This is a load of fun. Like we said, this is a fun comic book. If you don't like fun comic books, there's actually plenty of comic books out there you could read that are no fun at all. But
that is true.
Stop bitching about this one. Next up, actually, I want to go with this. Uncanny X-Men. Now, this is less fun because this is the evil mutants who aren't evil. Looks like it's Brian Michael Bendis. Looks like we got Chris Bachalo back. I don't remember where this left off. I was kind of getting confused between All New X-Men and Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, that's right, because they flipped a little.
Yeah, so initially I was thinking, oh, wait, is this the one with Wolverine's clone? No, that's the other X-Men book about the evil X-Men, but it's the X-Men from the past. Maybe that's the nice thing about Amazing X-Men is it's just simple.
Yes.
Dimension hopping to heaven and hell with pirates, that I can follow. The X-Men from the past coming to the future and switching teams, that's confusing me. But in any event, this is the Scott Summers-led team, the adult Scott Summers-led. I can't even say that now because Scott Summers there's 2 Scott Summers in this team. I'm just going to stop this now and just say this is a good book. Keep reading it. It's got great artwork, and it's the other half of All New X-Men, which has got Brian Michael Bendis. We've got, it's got the beginning of X-Men God Loves, Man Kills.
Interesting.
Reprinted here, but actually that does make sense because the lead character of this Stryker, his son, is the new villain.
Okay.
And he's running around hunting down
I missed
mutants.
an issue then.
Yeah, He in the last issue, he's the one that was hunting down Wolverine's daughter, clone, whatever.
Okay.
And they confront him, and then it turns out he's got some kind of powers. Would it be ironic that he's a mutant? Possibly. I don't know, but that would still be kind of neat. But yeah, this is the other half of the equation. This is the X-Men from the past, along with the rogue X-Men of the present. I guess the other X-Men now are just going to be an Uncanny X-Men. I don't know. Again, confusing. Sorry. I'm not writing this stuff. But this is good stuff. Brian Michael Bendis is continuing on this. This has been my favorite book of the Marvel Now relaunch. It is both fun, but it's also dramatic, and it's got a lot of cool time travel stuff.
It's the only one I'm really keeping up with.
It's a good one. Of the books, it's probably the best. Uncanny X-Men now it seems kind of redundant almost. So I don't. Maybe they're not going to keep it. They're rebooting Wolverine and the X-Men. So who knows what they're going to do with this? But in any event, if you're not getting both, if you're just getting one, this is the one to get. And I'm really, really enjoying the X-Men from the past and the present. That's really the best part of the X-Men stuff. So that's my stack.
A lot better than you'd think it would be.
Much, much better. I mean, I was very skeptical from the beginning, and the first issue was solid.
They make it work. The whole story works, and it's not as offensive as the premise is.
Yeah. So kudos to them.
So I guess that brings me to my top pick here. I've got a book here from Boom Studios. This is Curse. This is a book co-written by Mike Morisi and Tim Daniel, Mike, friend of the show. And it's also got art by Riley Rossmo and Colin Lorimer. So it looks like Riley did the cover, and what he told me was he was mostly just doing covers, but they credit him as art, so I don't know if he did layouts. I mean, it doesn't really look like his art.
No.
Well, okay, that does.
So he's got pieces of his art.
Yeah, there we go. There's some Riley stuff in there. That's where it is. That was definitely Riley stuff. It's a werewolf book written by Mike Morisi, and I'm excited to see him doing other stuff. I think that's great. He's really it seems like he's kind of taken off a bit. He's got that RoboCop one-shot coming up also from Boom soon. So I'm curious to see where this book is going. This is a 4-issue miniseries for now, but it's got werewolves, which is always a sweet spot for me. It's got Riley Rossmo, and it's got Mike Morisi. So I'm excited about this book. Definitely should pick that one up.
Well, my top pick has literally been years in the making in two ways. It's Miracle Man #1. This has finally come out from Marvel Comics. Marvel announced quite a few years ago that they had acquired the Marvel Man license.
About 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it was before they were bought by Disney.
Right,
Before. It was their big thing at the San Diego Comic-Con. Since then, we got reprints of a lot of old Marvel Man stuff.
The Nick Anglo stuff.
Right. Everybody's been waiting for the Alan Moore, who in all the advertisement, and here is actually credited as the original writer because he did not want them to use his name. Miracle Man finally back in print. I actually am lucky enough to have both the original issues and the original trade paperbacks of this. But this has been entirely recolored and relettered. There's some material that's included. There's a prologue in here that was never reprinted in the collected editions. It was only printed in the original. The original issues. And then there's also a good chunk of new behind-the-scenes material, an interview with Mick Anglo, reprinting some old stuff. So they're kind of padding out the book with some stuff that you haven't gotten before if you're one of the few people who did get the book the first time around. So half the book is stuff you've seen before but recolored, very, very nicely recolored.
Looks great.
The lettering actually, even though it's all new and it's all digital lettering, they went to great lengths to sort of recreate the look of the original letterer. So they've really spared no expense on this. And looking at this, looking at the quality of the artwork and the relettering, you can understand why it's taken them a couple of years. They had to get the rights. Yeah. There have been rights issues with all of this. They've actually been trying to find original artwork when available, original scans. And apparently they're still looking. So if you are someone who, by some weird chance, has a page of original Miracle Man artwork, Marvel would like a scan of it because they're trying to take all the color out of something that was printed on basically halfway decent newsprint 20 years ago. Really is a lot of work, and it does not look very good in the end. But that stuff looks great. They've done a fantastic job with this. When this is, they're going to reprint all of Alan Moore's stuff, 16 issues. Then reprint the Neil Gaiman stuff that had been started. I think his first story arc concluded and one issue of the second story arc had actually been published. But Neil Gaiman's going to finish the story.
That's awesome.
So we're going to get some brand new Miracle Man. That's 2 years from now.
Right.
But at least if you have not read this before, and I know a lot of people haven't, this is a classic. I mean, everything that Alan Moore did in Watchmen, he first starts doing here.
Yes.
I personally think that this is actually it's uneven because it was started in like 1982 and then stopped and then picked up later. It had a bunch of different artists, so there's some inconsistencies in the art styles and approaches. But all things considered, I think that as a complete work, it's better than Watchmen. And this is something, and that's why Marvel got it.
Right.
Marvel basically wants something that is like Watchmen, that's going to stay in print for 20, 30 years and kind of be the preeminent superhero book. Great stuff. If you have been waiting for Miracle Man, it's here. If you don't know of it, if you've never heard of it, this is one of the great comics of the 80s, and you haven't been able to get it for a very, very long time. So it's
there's a great Scotty Young variant out there too, which is fun.
See, this is a very, very dark comic.
Oh yeah.
When you were talking about like if you want comics that aren't much fun, you can try this one. So Scotty Young on that's a little bit odd. This is. Wait till you get to issue 16. You're gonna see some dark, twisted, nasty stuff.
And with that is your Week in Geek.